that is going to be the syllabus. Please focus on module 2 and 3. Hello everybody, good afternoon. In this session, we will look into lab program number 4. And what is the problem statement for the lab program number 4? Develop and demonstrate HTML5 file that includes JavaScript script that uses functions for the following problems. So we have to have a JavaScript with functions and for the following problems. A parameter is a string. What should be the output? The position in the string of the leftmost vowel. Okay, we will see what is that. I will explain. And if string is given, what it should do? The position in the string of the leftmost vowel. And if the given parameter is a number, the number with its digits in a reverse order. That is the problem statement. So what we have to do is input will be given by the user. Either he can give a string or he can give a number. If user gives a string, we have to tell what is the position of the leftmost vowel. So if I have a text leftmost vowel, wherever you see the leftmost vowel, you should give the position. So what position is the vowel available, you have to give that particular position. If user gives the input as a number, suppose he gives the number as 456. So what you should do, you should display 654. That is a reversing of the number. So that is the problem statement. So vowel, we know A, E, I, O, U. You will look out for those vowel. You will compare the string starting from the left, whether it is a vowel. So you should also keep on incrementing. You should have certain index when you are checking the first string. Let us say I have a string X, Y, Z and A. So A is at the fourth position. You will have an index 1, and when you compare the first letter X, so this is not a vowel, you will go to the next. You will increment the position to 2. You will check Y is a vowel, no. You will go to the third position. You will increment the index to 3 and check whether it's a Z is a vowel, no. Then you move to the fourth position. You will make the index as 4 and check whether A is a vowel, yes, it is true. Then you will come out and you will display number 4 as the output. That is what is requested here. That is what is required here. Position in the string of the leftmost vowel. I will show you the page first, and then I will show you the code. First you understand how the page looks like. I will open a new browser. Okay, this is the program number 4. Okay, so this is how it will look like. Okay, just first I want you to focus on what is the UI, like how we are going to display it. Just focus on the display part, and display part is taken care by the HTML. So what we have, if you look at this particular display, it is a table, right? You have seen table, and what is in the table, how many rows are there? 1, 2, 3 rows are there. And you can examine the table and you will know how many columns are there. 3 columns are there, 1, 2 and 3 columns. And the first row is spanning over all the 3 rows, and the last row is also spanning over the 3 columns. And in the first row, what I have just a text. What the text is, vowel position or reverse number based on the input value. Some kind of a heading is there. Okay, in the second row I have three things. This is a input. Input is just a text, or you can say it is a label. And this, if you see, I have some kind of a input. A text input is there where user can enter the string or a number or alphanumeric, whatever he will display. And Second one is also a input control which is disabled, which will be used for displaying the result. Suppose if user gives a string here, and for example he gives x y z a, and he makes a click. When he clicks on that, it will show a 4. If user gives 456, okay, I will show that x already, then we will see the code. Once you understand how the display part is, x y z a, when I click on this button, it should, because it is a string, it should give the position of the leftmost oval, right? Now it is 4. You can see the value of 4. And if I, instead of a string, if I give a number 456, and if I click here, it should reverse that number. You can see 654. This is the, so first we will focus on the looks part of the HTML document. I will open the code. This is the HTML. And you can use these codes I am putting in your classroom. You can use this code, some of this code, for developing your web application. Try to do it on your own. If you want to create that page, you can do it. You can do it in just like a 1 hour or 2 hours. At least the UI, the display part will be done. Whatever mini project you are selected, let us say you are selected college management system, where there is a registration for student. So student registration page, you can do it immediately. Like what you need is the some kind of a input buttons, text boxes, and submit button, right? You can do that. At least HTML, it should not take more than 30 minutes to do that. And you can refer to these HTML files to make which will help in how to create the text box, how to create the button, how to give the click event. At least in this particular example, you will come to know. So what I have, the display, this is the HTML table with rows and 3 columns. Let us first go, we will see the JavaScript functions later. So this is the head part. Okay, closing of the head. Inside the head I have the script. This is the starting of the body, this is the ending of the body. Inside the body I have a table, right? Table starts here and table ends here. So inside the table I have a row, table row. Okay, the first row, how many rows I have? 3 rows. This is one tr, this is second tr, and this is third tr. In the first tr, what I have, first tr doesn't have any thing, just the one text. Whatever heading you want to give, you can give that heading. You need not have the same heading. Whatever you choose, you can have. But that particular heading, it is spanning for the 3 columns. So th, as you already know, it is a header. Call span, it is a column span attribute. You are saying 3, so it will span for 3. And this is the closing tag for the th, and it is inside the tr. This is the closing tr. This is the starting of the second row. So first row, that is how it is displayed. Clear? Second row, it has how many data cells? 3 data cells. This is one td, second td, third td. And inside the first td, this is inside the first td, I have a label input. Okay, and closing td. First data cell has just the content input. Whatever you want to say here, you can say it. It doesn't really matter for the functionality. It is just for the display purpose. In the second td, so this is the second td, it will open here, it will close here. What I have, I have a text box where user can enter the values. So how I am getting that? I am using the input control. Input, okay, space, type is equal to text. Okay, input type is what? Text. I have given a id as a value 1, and value is equal to 0. By default it will show as a 0. If I refresh this, because I have given the value as 0, it is displayed as 0. Value is 0. That is the second td. In the third td, In the third TD, what I have? I have a input control, but it is disabled. The third TD, I have input, type is text, ID I have given some other ID name, answer is the ID, and value basically it is a blank, and disabled, it is disabled, so user cannot enter anything. Why I have done this is so that I will output my results there. This is the end of the second row. This is the beginning of the third row, and what I have in the third row, I have only one button. Okay, first is TD. How many are there? Only one TD, and it spans for 3. Call span is equal to 3, means that will span across the all the 3 columns. And this is the closing of the TD, and I have one input. What is the type is equal to button. Okay, earlier it was text, now it is a button. And what is the value? Click here. On the button, what you are seeing, click here, that is the value I have given. ID I have given as btn1, that is the ID. And I have included a on click event. This button has a on click. When I click on that button, this particular function is called vowel or reverse. That is the name I have given, vowel or rev, and I am not passing any parameters. So now this particular body will paint the browser. So this is how my browser is painted. Whenever I call that particular HTML, my browser is painted like that. Now user will give input. If user clicks on this button, then what will happen? It will call this function, and inside this function I have to check whether user has inputted a string. If it has inputted a string, then I have to find where the vowel is and make this answer equal to that value. If user has given as a number, I have to first reverse that number, and reverse the number I should assign to value of this element. That is how it will get displayed on the page. So we will see that. Now this function, this is a JavaScript. Now we will go back to the head section. Okay, we'll go back to the head section. So inside the head section, I have title. So as you know, this is the title given to the page. I will show you. See, this is the title. This is optional. If you don't want to include, it is up to you. It is better to have a title. Then I am giving a style for the table. Okay, table td th. I am giving the style, and this style, what I have done is these are the same style that is used in your first lab program for the calculator. If you see the look and feel, it is exactly similar to lab program number 1. So the advantage here is, once you remember the style of program 1, the same thing can be if you remember that, same thing can be used here. All these properties are exactly the same. Okay, for table, td data cell, and the header, border is what? 1 pixel solid black line. Okay, and width is 50% of the window. Text align, everything is aligned center, everything is aligned center. And background color dark gray. If you want to change, you can change. Border collapse, so that we can see nice lines for the table. That is the end of this style. This style is applied for the table tdth. For table, I want to have additional property. Margin is auto, whatever is the default given by the browser, I will set it. Input text align right. So whatever is the input, you can see this text align is right. And in this particular example, I have used additional. Okay, td and th height is equal to 30 px. Default height was very less, it was not looking very good, so just I increase the height. If you want, I will show you by changing it. So by default, I think it is a 10 pixel. I will just change it. Okay, this is how it was looking, very clumsy. All the controls are clumsy, so just I increase the height. This is also default. If you want to do that, you can do it. I will give as 30 so that it will look cleaner. 30. Now you can see little the height is bigger. I have given it for TD and TH. Now that is the end of the style. This is the style you are going to apply, and which is exactly similar to your first program. And in the first program also, if you want to increase the TD and TH height, you can do that, so that you will have the common code, common style. Next is the script part. The script will start here and script will end here. This is also inside the head. How many functions I have? I have one function. What is the name of the function? Function vowel or rev inside the empty brackets, no parameters. When this function is called, when user clicks on the button, on click. You can see here on click. For this particular button, I have set the on click event. When users click on click of that particular button, this function will be called. And what will happen once that function is called, we will see. Inside the function, we have a variable. In case of the JavaScript, this is how we define the variable. Don't get confused with the PHP. It is a dollar and the variable name. In case of a JavaScript, var plus str. This is the name of the variable, is equal to, you remember the document object we talked about, that is the root object. And this document object has a property, has a method get element by id. So this get element by id, what it will do, whatever the id you give here, what I have given value 1, it will access that element object, and dot value, whatever the value stored in that, it will be assigned to str. Where is value 1? Value 1 is nothing but the first text box. Okay, value 1, this is, so I'm extracting the value. So uh, uh, in this particular, it is 0. When user is clicking, he has typed some value 456. Now let us say user has typed 456 and I am clicking. So what will happen? Now this particular element has a input of 456. That value 456 will get assigned to str. Right? I hope everybody is getting. Document dot get element by id. Id is value 1. That is nothing but this object. I got this object. Once I get this object, dot value will give me this value, and that value I am storing in a variable called str. Now next is I have to check whether it is a string or not. There is a function is nan, not a number. This function we used in the calculator, that is first program. Is not a number, str. Okay, in this particular case it is 456. Is not a number, 456, it is a number. Okay, so answer is false. Okay, and I am complementing that value, false will become true. So if this given str is a number, it will come in the true block. Okay, I hope everybody understood. Is nan means is not a number. When it will be true, if that particular number is a text. If it is a text, is not a number, it will return true. If that number, if that input is a number, then is not a number will return false. We will complement that, we'll use not, false will become true, and this is the true block, means this is the block I have for handling the number. Okay, inside what I have, variable, I created more variables, num rev is equal to 0, and I have one more variable remainder. Basically this particular thing is your C program, if you remember how to reverse a particular number. Then num is equal to parse int str, because it is a text, it will parse and it will make it as a number. Now inside num I have the number, while number not equal to 0, remainder is equal to 456 percent 10. What is 456 percent 10? Answer is 6. Okay, number is equal to parse int num divided by 10. What is 456 divided by 10? 45.6. Since it is an integer, it will become 45. Now reverse is equal to what? I have REV. What is the REV initial value? Initial value is 0. 0 into 10 and remainder is 6. If you remember, this logic is getting, I got the 6, 456, I got the 6. Next, I will move it to the 10th place. In the next round, I will move it to the 100th place. That will become 600. So similarly, that 5 will be moved from the 10th place. So it will remain in the 10th place. 4 will be moved to the unit place. That is how the number will be reversed. 6 will, this is logic for reversing the number. Okay, this is the logic for reversing the number, which is pretty easy, you should understand. Now at the end of this loop, so after that number will become 0, it will come out. At this point, this number is a reversed number. Again, this reversed number should be pasted here, isn't it? This once I make a click here, this should show the answer. Now what I will do, document dot get element by id answer. What is this answer? If you go to html, the second text which is a disabled, that's id is answer. I will get that object, I am getting that object. After getting that object, dot value, I am setting its value property is equal to rev. So this particular second input will get a value of rev. So I will just show you, this is a number, it is going to come in this block, and I will click, so you can see the output. And if you want to debug, I have told you, you can use the alert, right? Alert you can use, just say you are not sure whether it is coming here or not, you just say here alert. Okay, something you want to indicate whether it is coming here or not. Then save this, load the page again. Okay, again you give the value 456. Okay, now see, so this is debugging. Suppose you are not able to understand where the code is going. Now what happened? After clicking that button, it called this function and it came here, it got the 456 value here, it checked, it is a number, it will come here, it reversed the number. After that, it is waiting here, it is that control came here. So when I say okay, this part will get executed. If I say okay, this part will get executed. That is how you can do the debugging. In case of the exam, you are stuck, you are not able to understand where the program is, this is how you can use. Let us say given number is given input is not a number, it is a string xyz a. Now what happens? Now in this particular input, I have given xyz a, and again I make a click on this button. When I make a click on this button, it will get the value of this object, value of this object. Now what I will get? xyza. I will get xyza is not a number. Xyz, answer is what? It is not a number. True, answer is true, this will return true. Then I am complementing that true to false. False means it will come to the false block. Else, what is there inside the else? Now first thing what I'm doing is, we know that it is already a string. We are using the built-in function to upper case to make it in the capital letters. str dot to uppercase empty brackets. You remember this is a string object. With a string object we get all these functions. Okay, to uppercase, we whatever input is here, now it is capital X, capital Y, capital Z, capital A after this statement gets executed. Now you are looping through this particular string. Variable I is equal to 0, I less than str dot length. What is str dot length? 4. In this case it is 4. I less than 4, then I plus plus, I will increment. Initial value is 0. 0 less than 4, true, it will come inside. Now I will get the character which is at position I. str dot char at, this is another function that is available in the string object. char at what is the location 0. At 0th location, I have capital X. Okay, it will check if character is equal to A or E or I or O or U. Basically, you are checking whether it's a vowel. If it is a true, then it will break. Otherwise, it will continue with the next. So X, does not match with anything. It will move to I will become 1. Okay, what is at 1th position? Y is there. Y is not equal. Again, it will move to the next. Then I will be 2. At 2 means this is position 0, 1, 2. Z is there. It will compare. It will does not equal to any of this character. Now I value will become 3. 3 is less than 4. True. So what is available there? Capital A is available. Capital A is available. Char A is equal to A. This statement will become true. If it is true, it will break, and if it breaks, it will come here. Now this, whatever the value I have the value 3 because it did not get incremented. 3 less than str length, which is 4. Answer is true. Document dot get element by id answer. I'm going to get this element, and I set dot value is equal to I plus 1 because we started with a 0. Array starts with a 0, but position we want to give it in the decimal starting with 1. I plus 1, 3 plus 1 is 4. Now this particular element will get painted with the number 4. If I say click here, it will get painted with the number 4. That is when it will get executed. Let us say I did not give any vowel. For example, I will say I will remove A. I will say H, H, K, K, L, L. If you see, there is no vowel inside here. No vowel found. This is false. Document dot get element by id answer dot value is equal to no vowel found. So just I will make this as capital no vowel found. That is just a text. It doesn't matter. I will refresh. I will give some non-vowel. Okay, no vowel found. This is how the code works. Okay, and even if you give a combination of number and you should try with all the use cases. You have JJJ, E, JJJ, then I have 3, 4, 5. Basically, this is nothing but a text, and then I have A. So it is giving the 10 position. Even if I include one single 6, 6, 7, 8, K, L, what it should say? No vowel found, because this will be treated as a string. It will consider only if it is between 0 and 9. Only if only those digits are present, then only it will consider as a number. Example 9887776. Now it has to reverse because it's a number. So 677889. So that is how the output you get.